intro. Just give me one moment. Okay, there we are.
Hello, everyone, and we are started a little late. Few technical difficulties.
Due to sound problems.
Well, we've had some sound crackling.
Crackling.
Anyway, you are watching the Bling Sisters, and we have our interactive live chat show. And I'm Silver Shells.
I'm Cindy Jenkins.
And
we are the Bling Sisters.
We're still adjusting ourselves here. Oh, no. Okay. We are located in the heart of Sonoma County, and we have a little pop-up that we want to talk about, Cindy.
Momentarily. We will be in Katati this weekend. Not this weekend.
Next weekend. We've got
next weekend, the
this
25th and 26th. We will be at Katati at the Accordion Festival.
That's
right.
So
you can see us there at booth number 54.
54. We're got some great jewelry, and we have little accordion necklaces, so you'll have to stop by and.
Well, you'll have to stop by for the Bali.
Well, yeah,
I can't help it. I have to say that.
Just stop by. So anyway, look for the red light in the left-hand corner. If it's on, we're live. If you'd like to be notified when we go live, please just push on your notification bell. And we have interviewed 122 people, believe it or not. Sometimes I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, we just had Terry Haggerty and Mitch Woods on, David Aguilar. Oh, my heck. 122 people. So you wait. You need to do.
Oh, my heck. Did anybody catch that?
Do we need to go? Okay. Cindy, where can you find our past videos?
Yes. Go to Facebook. Search the
Facebook.
Bling Sisters Live. And go to the Live tab, and you will see our archive.
Live tab, yes, 122 past. So today we have guest number 123, Frank.
Yay!
Frank Greenfield, also known as Frank DeVille. He is
DeVille,
an award-winning, Grammy-nominated guitarist, producer, performer, arranger, and writer. He's a session artist, an influencer. He endorses, and he, in turn, is endorsed, which is interesting. He has musical credits on film and TV, stuff like Dateline, NBC, The Good Wife, and Shameless. He has his current group is Family of Funk, and he is the epitome of glam rock. Welcome, Frank Greenfield.
Welcome. I think you missed one thing.
What?
He also collects cats.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, excuse me just one moment.
This is actually a tribute to the Three Stooges today, folks.
This is the Silver Shells comedy show.
Right.
It's just
Which one can I be? Which one of the Stooges?
Which would you be?
Curly.
I don't
Curly,
know.
yeah.
Oh,
Curly.
Curly and I'm Shemp.
You see how she assigns me as Mo? It's very telling, don't you
But see,
think?
yes.
No.
But I'm Shemp. All right. So, Frank, it's interesting that you call yourself an influencer and an endorser. What's the difference between an influencer and an endorser?
Well, I endorse, or I'm an endorsee. I endorse several great musical companies. Eminent Speaker, Dunlop, Morley Pedals, George L. Cables, and several others. But as far as an influencer, I mentor people through Grammy U, or I've spoken at colleges. I spoke at USC early last year, and mainly to the music business students. And I like to think of myself as an influencer basically because of, what I've put myself through, or what I've gone through to attain a musical career, and what I like to share with others. And I might have mentioned to you, I also sponsor some people in drug and alcohol programs. And so, so that's the whole thing, is being able to, give back, not because, because it's the right thing to do, but actually I get an awful lot out of, helping other people achieve their dream, or mentoring them, or things like that. Yeah.
So, you were classically trained in classically and jazz in guitar in school.
Right. Yes.
And you practiced for 8 hours a day.
And sometimes, yes, I did, as well as having a regular day job.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
You had to do that at that time, or else you wouldn't pass. And the instruction was, you can be a guitar player and then take, classical and jazz, but if you can't keep up with the lessons, there's no use in doing it. And when I went to Westminster Conservatory, and they'll just boot you.
There's
no use in.
Don't waste our time, kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, and so you grew up on the East Coast with a lot of influences, musical the genres. So were you initially drawn to jazz and classical, or?
Well, the thing is, at that time, a lot of the great players, first of all, there's no music industry where I was brought up. Like in Philly, I was brought up in a little town called Washington's Crossing, New Jersey. And there was some musical people who came from that area, but generally my family was not necessarily musical, but they had a lot of really nice albums, and Beach Boys and Herb Alpert. And I realized that the great players were studying those idioms. They were studying jazz. They were studying classical. The guy that I was studying jazz with was actually the guy that transcribed the Caprices by Paganini, that a lot of guys out here on the West Coast, a lot of the metal guys and shredders were picking up on that kind of stuff. And so I didn't really, I can play classical guitar, I can play jazz. I just consider myself a guitarist, or, a studio guitarist, or some dude in LA who has a, music career. There's guys like the person that I was under, Dr. Robert Trent. When I hear some of his students, they're like absolute prodigies. I was not like that. I kind of struggled with it, but I realized a lot of technique. I learned how to read music, certain things about fretboard harmony, things like that. So
you came by it honestly.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said you came by it honestly.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of it's a lot of hard work.
A lot of honest
To
hard
do
work.
those kind of things. Yeah, it was, working a day job, supporting a family. So many times lunchtime, you'd see the guitar neck outside the car while I'm, working on
Your
the
8
things.
hours
Oh,
of practicing, right?
yeah, and then after work, trying to put the time in and make it happen. And they were. I got one of my cats right here.
It's okay. You have
There was
one
just
of
some
your
hard
aides.
years, but that really taught me how to grind. And when I moved out to LA, I had to really carry that same kind of grind in a different area. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, before
Hmm.
you moved to LA, you were doing local TV music for local TV. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit. I was working at a studio. We were doing some film and TV bits, like cues.
Uh huh.
They would call them little sound bites.
Uh
We
huh.
did something called live rock. We were going a three-piece band, and so you just record 30-second, 60-second, bits. And a few of them, got picked up, but it was actually kind of great training. All that time in the studio, it trains you to get great sounds,
Uh huh.
to listen back, because tape doesn't lie. You listen back to it and say, wow, that's good, or that's bad, or that's really bad. That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
That sounds
No,
really
I mean,
familiar.
yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Hmm.
Oh, oh my gosh, that is funny. But that really helped you. Did that help put you on the path you are today as a producer, arranger? Oh my gosh, you're award winner, Grammy nominated, you name it.
Mm.
You know.
Well, thank you. Actually, I'm humbled by that. I'm grateful for the kind of career that I have,
Yeah.
and I know some people with really incredible. Like, you look at it and say, "Wow," but everybody has like their own different path, and I was able to find mine, and that was a part of it. That was a part of it. Those times, back on the East Coast in Burlington, New Jersey, at Burlington Sound Factory, where we did a lot of that stuff, and learning how to deal with people, and just learning, like, things that are musical. You can play guitar, but it might not sound musical. But when you're listening to things back,
Yeah.
and then you find out what works or what people are picking up, that's really the training, part. If that makes any sense. So everything built up. My whole life was to prepare for kind of what I'm doing now. If that makes sense. Yeah.
So you were working you moved to LA and you were working as a session artist?
I moved to LA. I knew one person out here, and kind of had this dream, this magical kind of thing. Yeah, like and I got plugged in with a few guys and started doing some session work. I'm a martial artist, and I was
Yes.
doing some martial arts instruction too, to try to pay bills, and struggling a little bit. But I met my one of my dear friends that we're still great friends, my friend Lamar, and we started working for this guy Walter, who's a dear friend, Walter Millsap. Walter was really influential in the industry in Los Angeles, and so we started to get opportunities to write for different artists.
Right.
So in a sense, I was doing some recording sessions, and that paid pretty good. But what I really found was working was writing for other artists and getting placements, and those placements, I still own some of the publishing and some of the writing for.
Oh, yay.
And that's what creates. It's nice to have the awards.
Yes.
It's nice to be on tour, but when you have your royalties and your publishing deal, those kind of things, that's where the real thing is.
The money.
And I didn't
Yeah.
know that until I moved out here, the actual ways to do it. I was, again, working with Walter Millsap and working with Timbaland's crew for those years. I saw that most careers are multifaceted.
Yes.
Like those kind of guys, they could be out touring, they're writing, they're producing, they have a lot of people producing for them.
Right.
You know,
Music
and
videos.
they have their publishing deals. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
Well, let's talk about 6 Feet Under, Rick Starr.
6 feet
Okay.
under, yeah.
Talking about collaborating with other people.
Okay.
And writing for others. Let's
So do you want to
Tell us
the video, or
about
you
it.
wanna
us
talk
about the
okay, yeah,
video
so-
before we run it.
6 feet under.
Okay,
Rick Starr.
6 feet under. Yeah. So the thing is when you're producing. So I had produced a few artists for Universal Music Group, and then sometimes people come to you through other people, and I like Rick's vibe and where he was going, and he had, you're always vetting the situation and seeing if I work on this project, will there be a back end?
Right.
So, Rick seemed to have a lot of stuff in place, and so when it's interesting because 6 Feet Under, the actual track was written by Lamar and I. A couple of the other songs on Rick's album were initially written by Lamar and I. So Lamar was I always say, man, there's no me without you, bro. We even when we're not actually in the studio together, we're always doing something with the music that we created all those years. So I met Rick, and I had this song for him, and we started going in the studio and writing the top line, and it's just a great, I think it's a great, at that time, maybe I know I was kind of in, 6 feet under, I'm going under, it's like about a relationship, and you see it going, and man, I would just do anything to keep this going, and It's not happening. And then of course, if I wrote the song and you're doing a video, I am going to be in that video.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's the stipulation.
Write that in your contract.
In this video. This is a fantastic video.
All right, guys, you're watching Silver Shells.
No,
the Bling Sisters Live.
And the Bling Sisters Live. Barry Melton is watching.
We're the Bling
hi.
Sisters Live, our interactive chat show. I'm Silver Shells.
I'm Cindy Jenkins.
And we are the Bling Sisters.
We're transitioning.
Okay.
Here
We're
we
go. Watch our video. Okay. And we're back.
Hi, we're back.
We're back.
Crazily, but we're back.
This is
again.
one of those shows we'll look back on and laugh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Thank you for
Because
those of you who alerted me to what was going on. The video decided to slow down
The video
during
okay.
broadcast.
All right. Well, you know.
So we will.
Oh no.
Yes, we will continue.
Okay, so we're going to continue. You were a session artist, and then you with Timbaland. You had a breakout that was 6 times platinum on that, on it
Mhm.
on the name of the and that did that catapult you into where you are? And they say it was a breakout.
It was one of the things. Yeah, because Lamar and I, even after we had an agreement with, Conjunction Entertainment, which is Walter Millsap and the Mosley Group, those kind of things they might want 2 songs for an album, whoever they're producing.
Uh-huh.
Christine Milian or Celine Dion, something like that. But they're going to want 10 or 15 pieces of music, 10 or 15 songs, and there's other producers. So even after we had an agreement, we wrote 200 pieces of music. I talk about this a lot because, man, it was a grind. 200 pieces of music before we got one thing placed. And when that one thing we had placed, we had some stuff in film and TV that was placed. But then that song actually, back to what my personal goals were and what my partner's personal goals were, to get publishing deal, international airplay, that kind of recognition. That was one of the things. That was one of the elements. So it got traction, if that makes any sense.
It helped you put you where you are today. Is that
Yes,
kind of a
it did.
springboard a little bit? But
it always does. It always does. When you have a hit record, or if you're on something that's in that record was, I think, number 1 or number 2 in the pop charts, and then it was a gospel album that we worked on that was nominated for a Grammy, and that
Trini-tee.
That was Trinity 5-7. That was like in the top 3 or 4 with the gospel Billboard. So it always it needs to start somewhere. You get traction, and then you get more and more, because the way you split out success is 50% if you're already established, 40% who you know and how you work with them, and then 10% talent. So you get established. Well, the talent is a huge part of it, but it's not. You can be really talented, but you can't get along with people, so you're not going to be successful. You can be really talented, but if you don't have a record out, it's not going to matter. So it's going to matter, but it's not going to make you successful at that time. There's other elements, if that makes sense.
Right.
Of course, you got to be talented, but it's not as big as people think when they think, when people see how talented I am, or when you see what a prodigy I am, or how, incredible my musicianship is. But that's another subject, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So yeah, it was one of the stepping stones, but there was many.
Well, each one opens up. It's like each key is a key, and it opens up a new door. And there's just
well, something like that too opens up your possibilities with your international, intellectual property rights, and then companies start to come to you and say, we can collect them for you, not just your performance royalties, but your mechanicals, and that's where it happens right there. People are selling, when you're selling, 100,000, 200,000 in a different country, you have to be able to collect on that money.
True.
and you can't do it by calling up Mr. Australia, Mr. Japan. It doesn't work like that.
You have to have
So-
somebody representing you.
Yes.
Okay. And so, what are you doing now? I mean, now that you've with the COVID, what were you doing during COVID? Were you Zooming and practicing and writing, or taking a break? What? How did?
No, I never take a break. You know, you're always on the grind. You never stop. And so I didn't really pay that much attention to it, to tell you the truth. I had
That's
my own
good.
thoughts, about it, but music was still being downloaded. My music, that I already had out. I had a couple new placements. Earlier in this year, I did 2 out-of-state studio gigs for 2, one show for Netflix, one for FX.
Okay.
And so more placements. My music catalog did very well last year because we're still collecting on 2019. So that's when I decided to, put my funk band together.
The Family of Funk,
we broke,
huh?
with the Family of Funk. We broke the funk band, and we did a couple shows for iHeartRadio, and a lot of work, goes into, breaking a band, the elements for your website, Facebook, Instagram. It's almost a full-time job. It really is.
Isn't
The
it?
marketing,
Yeah.
putting the songs together. We wrote songs, went in the studio, did a few performance videos, which you have, which is actually us playing the songs live. We wanted something that represented us, live, because at the
Okay.
time there was no place to play live. People want to see, hey, what do you look like when you're playing live? Well, there it is. So we're right now we've been playing a bunch of shows. We Sunset Strip. We played the Viper
Oh.
Room, El Cid, the
Viper
Federal.
Room.
Yeah. So you have to kind of do that. So we're getting ready to work on a full length studio album.
Oh, good.
Do a couple more formal music videos.
So
Yeah.
do you want to? So we have the Family of Funk Party
Mhm.
Train, 20th Century.
Okay.
20th
Let's-
Century Boy. Yeah, those are
Oh.
remakes.
It was just
The Family of Funk. We write our own originals, but we also do some remakes. We're a
Okay.
3-piece band. Some people compare us to like a funk version of Jimi Hendrix or the band of Gypsies. We're 3-piece with my brother Wayman is on synth bass, playing loops, playing MPC, and myself, and a drummer. Then we have 2 incredible female vocalists that just jaw-dropping.
they look
We have the-
gorgeous. Yeah.
The illustrious Dunn
Very
sisters,
fun.
Mia
Ah.
Dunn and Cherie Dunn. They have the same last name, so we call them the illustrious Dunn sisters. And man, they oh man, they bring it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so it's a great combination. It's a lot of the music is really about we don't sing about love and unity, and so Party Train obviously is an old Gap Band song.
Okay.
Wayman was an original Gap Band member and is related. He was with Charlie Wilson for 30 years. I was with the Gap Band for 2 years. So I just loved playing those Gap Band songs when I was with them. And so, yeah, we just do a remake, kind of our own version, which is, if you see the Gap Band do those songs or Charlie Wilson do those songs, he does a couple different versions. So we just jammed them all into one. And then 20th Century Boy is a remake of an old T-Rex song. It's a lot of people
I
don't.
remember T-Rex. Bang a Gong.
Yeah, it's funny because some of my friends that I recently connected with that I knew from long ago said, man, you got this T-Rex thing going on. So I didn't really do it purposely, but I'm like, we should do a T-Rex song. So 20th Century Boy is T-Rex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at Party Train. Come on.
All right.
All right, let's go.
All right. Then we
everyone. There
Hello,
are
and
gremlins in the mix this
we
evening.
are back. This is
This
Silver
is the
Shell's
second time.
comedy show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I'm Silver
Oh
Shells.
boy.
Yeah, I'm anonymous
Cindy.
tonight. Please don't spread my name around. I'm kidding.
Oh,
You
God.
gotta love technology.
Yeah, well, for some
Mm.
reason, things are doing things on their own. I touched nothing, and it restarted.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Well, Frank, you write for TV shows, theme songs. Now, do these TV shows, do they pick songs you do? Do they contact you and say, we'd like you to write the theme song for Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Do you watch the show? How do you create a theme song?
I don't watch any of the shows,
No?
actually. I don't watch
Okay.
any TV. No, you know what? I'll tell you how the process works. So, the shows I worked on recently, I got called in to play with, a live band, a live orchestra doing cues, which was basically a work for hire.
Okay.
The stuff with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the director heard the song. That song has been placed in maybe 10 different TV shows.
Yeah.
So generally, you're going through music supervisors, or you're going through my publishing deal when they represent writers and publishers. So the labels, the TV shows are many times going to them and saying, we need a song like this. We need a hip hop song like this, an R&B song like this, a funk song like this. And here's the deadline. Here's the reference. Okay. So that's one way. So then you're submitting stuff, and I'm always submitting work. I just got another one for a big hip hop artist on Warner Brothers. I'm going to reach out to my boys when we're done here and say, hey, we got to create something. We have a deadline, the 20th. But for a lot of that stuff, come on. Sorry. Cats don't realize about cameras and stuff.
No, they're not.
For Brooklyn, yeah. So that was in several TV shows. The director heard it and wanted to use it for his theme song, and it had been recorded, maybe 2008, 2007, 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember when we were going to do the deal, and one of the other writers, there was 3 writers. It was a guy named Jacques, and then my buddy Lamar and myself, and they were telling me, how it's going to work. We have to split some publishing with NBC Universal, and I'm listening. And I was on my way to another gig to do something for American Idol or something. I don't remember. Somebody else was driving. They were breaking all the speed limit. And I'm like, okay, all right. Jacques, just do this deal, man. Just do it. He's like, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm like, no, I heard all the stuff that I needed to know. Just do it.
Do it.
And so a lot of times that's how it goes, being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I would hear those kind of stories and think, oh, that's cool, man. That's great. But I don't know if I've ever experienced that. But in fact, I have experienced that several times. And so when a music supervisor is representing your catalog, they, they want the best music that they can, because their job is on the line too. So they're submitting New Girl or Serial Life of American Teens, anything, like
Shameless.
that. Empire.
Community.
all,
you did Community. My favorite.
Community,
one of my favorite.
yeah. But I have to tell, I have hundreds of those placements, and I'm realizing I have to update my IMDb.
Yeah.
And last time I did it was last year, and it took like 2 or 3 days. There was a lot of titles, and they want to know where the location, and who the director was, and which episode. I'm like, I don't know, Yeah.
Details.
Well,
that's what it's all about.
A lot of there is a lot of work that goes into that's non-musical,
Right.
that goes into having a musical career. You want to come over here and be in the camera, Playboy? No, get out of my class. Come over here.
Okay. All right, everyone. It is time to end the show.
Oh, just like that. Just like that. You were supposed to be very couth about it.
Very,
Ah.
very
So
good.
what has happened is I'm getting a message saying that there is still audio problems going on as far as slow sound.
Poo.
So we
not
need
good.
to, and it's because we've taken enough of Frank's time.
Yeah.
And
you've been so
Frank has
much
been
fun,
so
Frank.
wonderful to
Oh.
come back on the show. And what we're going to do is we're going to end with Woohoo,
Woohoo.
and we're going to watch it. And if it goes awry, we're just going to end it. And it's like that.
All right. Roy Rogers
Awesome.
is coming on our show next Thursday.
Next
Roy
Thursday, and I've got some
Rogers.
work on this thing to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. He's a slide guitar and
Roy Rogers.
Roy
Excellent.
Rogers. But Frank, gosh, you've been such a good sport.
What a good sport. And
It's my
so
pleasure.
cute,
It's
too.
always great to see you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll make it happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted
Thank
to say
you, Frank.
hi to some people before we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
Blame
slide
John.
down. Here we go.
Donna Jean, Peggy Cruz, Diane Vetrick,
Barry Melton.
Nafamara,
Barry.
Craig Thompson. Oh, we love
Yeah.
Craig.
Joshua. Hi, Joshua.
Joshua.
There's
Barbara
Joshua right
Moore.
here.
Joshua. Oh, yeah. Joshua,
Joshua the
Kitty.
cat. That's
Kitty,
right.
kitty, kitty. Oh, my gosh. Look at them all.
Stephanie. My mom is watching.
Ah.
Everyone, the world has been here.
Yes.
okay.
Everybody to watch our
So
show
it's
tonight.
not always perfect. Okay, we love you
Yeah,
all.
it's crazy.
All right. All right. Guys, love you. Love you, Crowbar, Sabrina, my family.
Good
Bye,
night.
Frank. Good night.
Bye.
Well, there's a craze that is sweeping the nation. You can join if you want it today. And there's a song of this new generation. It's inclusive and never